Oh, they ain't tell y'all? You tuning into the best morning show on the globe. It's Bradley and Emery in the morning, y'all. LeBron and Jordan, either one when I'm performing. Crossover, buzzer beater and I'm scoring. Bradham and Emery in the morning. Every play they on it. Every day I'm balling. Who's the coach? Who's the GOAT? Like Brady and Belichick, best show on the globe. And they embellish it. Y'all paying Ziffy, I'm Ken Griffey or maybe Mahomes. I stay in the zone, whether man to man or play in the zone. They can't stop me. Mayweather boxing, Curry with the shot, man. We just the best to be. Can we have our SP, please? This was meant to be. Every morning with Bradham and Emery.
Yes, sir. You know the vibes. Bradman in the morning. Marcus Bradham, Justin Emery.
I don't even want to do an intro. I'm frustrated. We're just getting right into it.
Yeah.
So, I'm not even. There's no intro. There's no intro. There's no intro. Just like there's no excuse.
I want to go back 48 hours ago. And I came on this air and I said I woke up. I did not feel good about that game. I actually predicted a loss. I thought they were going to lose the game.
So this is your fault.
But it doesn't matter about that as much as my feelings I had going into the game than how I watched the game unfold. That's where, you're watching the game, you're seeing how well they're playing, they're up 18, and you got to have that game. So here's the deal. I'm just gonna cut right to the chase. Because there's a lot of talk about who's to blame for that game and why and everything like that. We all love Joel Embiid, no question. Like, should have been the MVP of the league. We get all of that. However, missing persons report for Joel Embiid on Monday night. And I don't want to hear anything about the knee. I don't want to hear anything about the knee, and I'm going to tell you why. The man grabbed 21 rebounds. He also had a chase down pursuit of Trae Young last minute of that game. So we can't sit here and blame this on the knee. They had an angle when the game first came on the air. They had an angle where it was just Joel Embiid's face. I looked over at Amber. I said, something does not look right here. And his body language throughout the entire game was bizarre to me. And you know what it took me back to? Like what we got on Monday night was old Joel Embiid, the frustrating Joel Embiid. This took me back to 2 years ago, Game 4 against the Raptors, or in Game 5 against the Raptors. I had PTSD. I went all the way back to that, and it was utterly frustrating watching this. Because listen, you want to talk about supporting cast, and they want to put you Tobias Harris. Didn't have a great fourth quarter. Neither did Ben Simmons. That's not the point because they're not the best player on the team. The best player on the team sets the tone. He's the guy that I expect to go out there and get us a bucket when we need a bucket. And he didn't do that. As a matter of fact, he went 0 for 12 in the second half and with a big fat minus 16. And that is inexcusable. I watched guys make championship plays in that game. I watched Matisse Thybulle at the end of the third quarter chase Trae Young down, steal the ball, come down and hit a huge three. I watched Shake Milton early in the fourth quarter try to carry his team with 3 consecutive buckets. I watched Furkan Korkmaz hit a 30-foot three to put you up by 4 with about 2 minutes to go in the game. I watched role players make championship games. You know what was missing? What was missing was the MVP of our team. Maybe the league didn't see it, but definitely of our team did not come through when we needed them to come through. I watched Doc Rivers draw up a perfect play at the end of that game to get Joel Embiid a bunny at the rim. A bunny. And he blew it. Threw it to the other side of the backboard. I watched all these things take place. And so for me, this isn't about Ben Simmons. This isn't about Tobias Harris. This is strictly about the best player on your team. That's all it's about for me. It's about the best player on your team. That team, Atlanta, they were dead and buried. The body language was slumped shoulders. They knew that game was over. You allowed them in that third quarter to build confidence, and a lot of confidence was off the fact that they felt your best player was not engaged. He didn't look engaged. He didn't look into it. He looked tired. He was getting frustrated. And listen, there were a couple plays, especially that second half. I can count maybe 3 or 4 times where he got fouled and they didn't make the call. But you know what? So what? You weren't getting the calls, Joe. You weren't getting the calls. So do something else. Figure it out. I don't know. But like I said, it reminded me of the Joel Embiid of a couple years ago. The guy where you didn't know what you were getting game to game.
So
game comes out against Toronto. He gives you an incredible performance. Then 3 days later, he's a no-show. And in game 5, he's a no-show, which changed the entire complexion of that series.
So I agree with everything you said, except I don't think that you went far enough. Okay. Where you said who's you looking to place blame on for this? You were right with blaming Joe. Your superstar didn't show up. Now, is it because of the knee? I don't know, but like you said, that's not an excuse.
Yeah, I can't give you based on
how you played in game 1 and 2. I can't give you that excuse.
And based on
games 1, 2, and 3, I should say.
Right, and based on 21 rebounds, and based on how you played defensively, how you were moving, we can't do that. We just can't.
So I'm going to take a line from Jason Kelce, and I put the blame on the whole team. Because Ben Simmons, we've talked about this ad nauseum multiple times, but it is now to the point that it has to be drawn in the forefront. These foul shots are an issue. I mean, I'm not the first person to say that. I'm not saying anything groundbreaking here with that when I make that statement. You lost by 3. He missed 4. Now, Marcus, you're a teacher, okay?
Yeah.
So I was never good at math, but if I put down that you lost by 3 and you missed 4, am I correct with that? If you hit those, you would have won by 1. Is my math correct with that?
That is correct.
So it's just the whole game was so frustrating. Now, admittedly, I was rocking too hard through the first half and slept through the third quarter. So when I woke up in the fourth quarter, I had no clue what was going on. I saw the score, and I was just so frustrated. I didn't even watch the end of the game. I didn't. Usually after the game ends, I'll text you, and I'll be like, "Here's a couple points, that we want to bring up for the show and whatnot. Did you see the same thing that I saw, et cetera, like that? Did you hear from me on Monday night?"
No, and listen, I was so angry when I went to bed Monday night. I woke up the next morning. It was almost like a breakup, where like you forget at first when you wake up, and then like the TVs happen to come on. The first thing I see is highlights. I was like, oh yeah. I was mad all day yesterday.
All over again.
I almost texted you and said, should we do an emergency pod? Because I didn't know what to do with these feelings. I didn't know how to, because at the end of the day, this is a game that when you're a championship team, this is a game you win. This is what championship teams do. Do I still think the Sixers are going to win this series? Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
Do I still think the Sixers are better than the Hawks? Absolutely. But
I think they're going to win tonight.
Yes, but this is cause for pause going forward for me, because you just can't lose games like this. When you know you're better than a team, you have your foot in their throat, you take them out. You take them out.
You have
to. In the first half of that game, the Hawks were done. They were done. Trae Young was slumping his shoulders. Bogdanovich saying they were frustrated. They were thinking in their head, man, we gotta go do this again on Wednesday in Philly. We gotta get on a flight for all of this. That's how they were thinking. In the third quarter,
that everybody does 1, 2, 3 Cancun. That's what they were doing.
And in the third quarter, you gave them life. I'm gonna read just a quick stat. So Embiid 0 for 12 in the second half. That's the most.
Question real quick. When did he go back into the locker room?
Second quarter.
Okay.
Yeah, but like late. I think it was late first quarter, and he was back there till he came back in the second quarter.
Okay.
His 0 for 12 is the most attempts in a half without making a shot in the last 25 postseasons.
Wait, say that again.
That
His
over
12 stretch,
that
yes.
over 12 stretch is the most shots taken by a guy without making a field goal in 25 postseasons.
Oof.
It's just
Are you familiar with the Ben Simmons stat for foul shooting?
no.
So Ben Simmons currently this postseason is the second worst postseason foul shooting of all time for Ben Simmons doing.
Not surprised.
Do you know who number one is?
Shaq,
No.
Giannis.
No.
Who?
Ben Wallace.
Oh, okay, that makes sense. Yeah,
So think about that. The only guy who's having a worse foul shooting postseason of all time.
Yeah.
I'm not even talking. I'm saying ever, not the last 25 years, ever.
Yeah.
Is a guy who is known as being a defensive stopper. So my question to you, Marcus, is Ben Simmons is clearly not a max player. Now, when you gave him the contract, you had to give him the contract. It just is what it is. I'm not disputing that's what you had to do. But you are now basically giving a max contract to a defensive stopper. You're in a predicament.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's unfair to just call him a defensive stopper. Listen. There's no question.
When your superstar and your teammate was struggling 0 for 12 in the second half, clearly playing hurt, clearly playing through the pain, did Simmons step up?
No, he didn't. But
I think he took 3 shots. I think he took 3 shots.
You're absolutely right. But at the end of the day, and like I said, this game to me is on Joe. It's on Joe.
I think it's on everybody. I think it's on everybody. It's on Joe. It's on Doc. Doc, I think, put Joe in a little too early. Towards the end, if you want to divvy up a pie,
bro,
take a pie. Take a pie. Okay. Embiid will get the biggest slice. I'm not disputing that he'll get the biggest slice, but he's not getting the whole pie. There is plenty of slices to go around other people.
He was not getting his calls that he usually gets, and he pouted.
Yes.
What happened in that second half?
Yes.
And inexcusable. It's inexcusable because the thing that I thought he was starting to understand and realize. The most important thing from a superstar besides talent and all those other things is body language. And when you don't have the right mentality and body language, it embodies the rest of your team. They're looking to you for direction. They're looking to you for those buckets, those big-time buckets. They were feeding him. He was taking shots. I mean, and he was again, going back to what I said earlier, I can count about 3 or 4 times at least, and maybe even more, that he got fouled. I can say, yo, that was a foul. But he wasn't getting the calls. And that shows you right there the knee couldn't have been that big of an issue. Because he was drawing contact. He just wasn't getting the calls. And that was frustrating him. And it started getting in his head because he's like, wait a minute, these are calls I usually get. And then we got Pouty Joe. In game 4.
Something that's now concerning is that it looks like the other series could only go 6 games now.
Yeah.
And you've lost that advantage of having one less game. As we've stated ad nauseum, both prior to the game and even on this episode already multiple times, the Sixers are still going to win this series.
Correct.
I just don't like the way it's playing out.
No. And again, I was happy to be wrong Monday. Like that bad feeling after watching that first, I was like, you know what? I was wrong, and I'm happy to be wrong. And
my plus 15-point projection was looking good at halftime. It was looking good.
You were good money, and it was a slow bleed out from that point on.
Yeah,
slow. It was a death of 1,000 paper cuts from that point on, because you just saw it. You saw it third quarter just slipping away. And like I said, the reason why I don't say everybody is because I saw guys out there making championship plays. I saw Matisse with a huge sequence at the end of the third quarter. I saw Shake with a huge sequence at the beginning of the fourth quarter. I watched Korkmaz hit a 30-foot three towards the end of the fourth quarter, a 4-point lead 2 minutes ago. And I saw guys doing things, trying. But if you don't have your best player producing, what are you at the end of the day? What can you do?
You're the
Like,
New York Knicks.
he's literally giving you nothing. He's giving you nothing. Like, bro, make one shot. Like, he gave you nothing in that second half. And, you know, some people are going to say it's unfair because of the season he's had, but I'm not one of those people, because this is the most important time of your season. This is not a time to take, like, if this was game 27 of the regular season, do you think I'm over here blowing a gasket right now with my veins out of my neck? Of course not.
No, it's game 4 of the second round.
Game 4 of the second round of the playoffs with a chance, and you have a real shot to win an NBA championship this year.
Yes.
This like, you've been given a gift once again, just like you were where you didn't take advantage of it 2 years ago. Because listen, I think we both can agree, if the Sixers win Game 7 against Toronto, they win the World Championship that year. They win that year.
Yeah, I mean,
We're set up perfectly for the World Championship. Golden State,
they'd have to have been the favorite.
yeah, I think they beat the Bucks.
Yes.
Then they go on and beat the Warriors because of what happened in that series, how everything played out with Durant and his injury. Then Clay goes down. You win a championship. But you didn't take care of Toronto because of things like what happened on Monday. Not being prepared and stepping on the throat of a team that you know you already have beat. Toronto was done after Game 3 2 years ago. That beating they took in Philly, they were done. You allowed them to get their confidence back. And then they go to Game 5 back Toronto. The confidence is restored now, and your best player, again, is sick and not giving you what you need. This is why I'm so upset, but I thought we were past this point. But listen, we're going to take a break. And when we come back, we have a special guest to talk about this.
No, we'll hit the break after it because we got him now.
Oh, he's here now.
Here now.
All right. Whoa.
We'll hit him after the break.
Well, listen, special guest alert. So I got to tell you a quick story. So back in 2017, right?
Okay.
My first live show ever at Steam Pub in Southampton.
That place is something else.
Steam Pub, Southampton, first live show ever. This guy actually was a guest. We talked baseball. We worked at the same organization for a little bit of time. He's gone on to do wonderful things since then. He is the current producer at 97.5 and host. Tyler Zulli is on the program. Welcome to the show, buddy.
Guys, what's going on? How are you?
Doing well, man. So here's what we're gonna do. My plan is to kind of do a little roundabout discussion, a State of the Union, if you will, on all four teams. Now, I want to start with the Sixers. I thought this was gonna. I don't know if you heard me blowing a gasket while you're on hold, but I thought this was going to be more of a joyous conversation. And overall, speaking of the Sixers, obviously very pleased where they are as an organization. This is the best run of Sixers basketball of my lifetime. I'm sure yours. I'm so excited to have them in contention year after year after year. However, Monday night was a bummer. It was a bummer for a multitude of reasons. And the number one reason was the play of Embiid. Now, if you ask me, I give Embiid all the blame for that loss. I do that because as the best player, you just have different responsibilities than everyone else. And when you go for 12 in the second half and your body language is the way it is, you set a precedence right there that sinks in with the rest of your team. I watch other guys make championship plays. I watched Thibault have a huge sequence in the third quarter, Shake Milton in the fourth quarter. I watched Korkmaz hit a huge three, put you up 2 minutes to go. But your best player, you weren't getting the best out of him. I want to ask you, Tyler, from your perspective, am I being unfair on Joel Embiid by giving him all of this?
So I think that it's a little unfair to give him all the blame. It is fair to give him blame, though. And I think when the way this game progressed on Monday night, I'm in agreement with you. I am kind of distressed at how the game unfolded on Monday night. And I went through almost this like gauntlet of emotions Monday night, where at the beginning of the game, I felt that, I had a reserved confidence where I felt like, yes, absolutely, the Sixers could win this game. And also at the same time, if there was going to be, like a last opportunity for Atlanta to get back into the series, this was going to be it. So I expected a close game. I expected a hard-fought game. And then you see what happens in the first half. In the first half, especially in the second quarter, when they go on that, 17-3 run,
Yes.
whatever it was, midway through the second quarter. And you're feeling good. You're feeling confident. That confidence starts to grow a little bit. Even as the Hawks go on a 7-2 run to end the half, the Sixers still have a 13-point lead heading into halftime. You feel really good. And then to understand at the end of the game that the Sixers needed 42 second-half points to win that game, and they didn't get it. I think they're averaging about 29 points per fourth quarter. And even if you get to 21 and 21, you win the game. So it was a lot to take in on Monday night, and I think you gave a really good comparison with that Game 4 of the Toronto series a few years ago. That was one that the Sixers let slip away. They had to go back to Toronto, and the series they were never able to recover after that game, even though they won Game 6 and forced a Game 7.
And that's what concerns me, is the last part. I think I still have PTSD from that series because, a lot of what I saw in Game 4 Monday reminds me exactly of that scenario. And, they had a golden opportunity to win a championship that year. They did. I believe if they win Game 7, or let's take away Game 7 because, again, I don't think it should have got to that. But if they win that series, I believe they beat the Bucks. And with everything that happened with the Warriors in the finals, I believe they go on to beat them. So for me, it brings me back to that place because I'm looking here at this field, and I think they have another amazing opportunity. So what I need from you right now, Tyler, make me feel better and make me cheer me up, because I'm going to tell you, Monday night I didn't sleep. I slept maybe like 45 minutes. I was just up staring at the ceiling, angry. I woke up the next morning furious, and I'm a guy. Monday, I had a bad feeling waking up going into that game and predicting them to lose. But the way it happened, that's not what I expected. Do I think they're a better team than the Hawks? Absolutely. But I want to feel better about the rest of this run. Restore order to my heart, please.
Okay, so the best thing that I can tell you is heading into Game 5. I think there's two things that I could try to give you that will cheer you up. The first thing, and I hope that this remains the case, and I hope that many people in Philadelphia believe the same way, the Sixers are a better team than the Hawks. And I truly believe that they are a superior team to the Hawks. And with that being said, kind of takes me to my second point. You now have a 3-game series. And while it's not ideal to be tied 2-2 as the 1 seed, you now have a 3-game series with a team that you're better than, understanding that you have 2 of the next 3 games at home. And even if this thing does go 7, let's say the Sixers win Game 5 and the Hawks win Game 6, they avoid elimination, it comes back to Philadelphia. I will take the chances of the Sixers winning a Game 7 at the Wells Fargo Center, where they've lost 8 times this season. So it's not an ideal scenario to be tied 2-2 with the Hawks going into Game 5, but it certainly could be worse. And that is kind of the positive that I'm taking away from it.
Okay, I do feel a little better. So I appreciate that. So let's move on to the next team, which is, we'll go to the Eagles now. Now, I feel like what I'm about to say, I'm definitely in the minority here of people. I am pretty optimistic about this season. Now I look at the Eagles, and everything that I can lay out right now about why I think they'll be better than a lot of people think is they're pretty much all what if scenarios. But if you listen to the ifs that I have, the ifs aren't outrageous. If the offensive line stays healthy, Devontae Smith gives you the production you think you'll get from him. Jalen Reagor has a better season. Better coaching staff. You get better play from the defense. Injuries all around. I believe that this team can be better than the national media and even local media is predicting them to be. Jalen Hurts. I even think Howie Roseman had a chance at showing his legacy around based on the past couple years, because you have a lot of guys that he's drafted that are not, they're still unseasoned, uncooked chicken. It's not there yet. So they're still even turn his legacy around, having a Super Bowl under his belt. Am I crazy? Am I crazy right now being this optimistic about this team?
I don't think you're crazy, but I think that the one thing that I will hold somewhat of reservation and I think, like, your what ifs are they're very tangible, very doable things. But the one thing I will hold reservation is there's a lot of them that the Eagles would have to overcome
Absolutely.
to have a better season than what a lot of us are predicting. I will say this about Howie Roseman. You mentioned that he has an opportunity to maybe turn the legacy back around a little bit. I actually am one of the few people I think that I've spoken to. I think that maybe they didn't hit a home run, but I thought that they had a tremendous draft. Obviously, Devontae Smith was a home run. I like the Landon Dickerson pick much more than others do. I understand the injury history is concerning, but if he can stay healthy, another hypothetical what if he can stay healthy, you've got yourself a guy who could play both guard positions in the short future and will probably be your starting center of the long future. So I think they did a really nice job of addressing some needs outside of the obvious of Darius Slay in the draft. I just have a lot of concerns that the hypotheticals that you mentioned, the hypotheticals that a lot of people are hoping on, there's a lot of them. They're not unachievable. It's just that the quantity is enormous.
Yeah, I want to be clear. I don't know that. I don't think they'll make the playoffs. However, I just don't have the doom and gloom everyone else does. I think the project of turning this around will be faster than a lot of other people think. But so the Phillies. So let's go back to April. I'm a huge baseball guy. Like I said, the first conversation we had on air was about baseball, and I missed the glory days of the best Phillies run of my lifetime, which was the 07 to 2011. But I'll even go back to 06 was fun, and 05 was fun also. I missed those days. So when April hit and they got off the 4-0 start, and the way they won those couple games, I immediately was flashed back to, okay, we're back at the beginning of the run again. And this is going to be fun again. It's going to be fun to get down to the ballpark again, especially after a year of not being there. I'm really excited about, this year and the future of this team. And after that point, for the most part, it has been a joyless season. There's been a lot of injuries, but just the pitching, the stupid baseball, the defensive liabilities, even the offensive liabilities, which is something that going into the season, that was something we thought was a sure thing. We thought this team would be a prolific offensive team. We've been kind of disappointed with the Alec Boehm, his hitting. It's gotten a little better, but still not what it is. McCutchen getting older. So we fast forward here to where we are now, where they've won 4. Even they've lost last to the Dodgers. They've overall won 4 out of 6. Segura gets hurt last night, and Harper gets hurt. Hopefully, they're both, if not long-term things. My question to you overall is, what am I looking at here? What can we do, and will this team be a team that will be fun again and joyous again? Because right now, overall, even with despite the weekend with the Yankees, it's kind of been a mess.
Oh man, if I had the answer to that question, what are you looking at? I'm in the front office right now trying to make some changes. So this is going to sound a little bit strange, but I thought that the Phillies would play at this record level, right around 500, a few games above, a few games below throughout the entirety of the season. The way that they've gone about it is not how I anticipated it happening. You mentioned the 06-07 team, right? I think I thought that was a really good analogy to how you're looking at the 2021 team. I thought that this team was going to score a ton of runs. Yeah. And after Wheeler and Nola, and I didn't know what Eflin would be. I had no idea what Matt Moore, what Chase Anderson, what Spencer Howard, what Vince Velasquez. I had no idea. It was a ton of question marks with those guys. So I expected this team to win a good majority of its games, like 7-6, and lose a good majority of its games, like 7-6, just because I expected them to score a ton of runs. And then after Wheeler and Nola, the pitching would be a question mark. But you mentioned it's like they make silly mistakes. They make fundamental mistakes that every single person that's ever played the game of baseball or softball will go back to their little league coach and, get in trouble for the mistakes that the Phillies have been making. The Travis Jankowski standing there in between the middle of second and third base while he lets Alex Avila not just run him back to a bag, but run him into an out. Those are the kind of mistakes that you see happen way too often with this team. And then defensively, I didn't expect them to be Jimmy Rollins and, Brandon Phillips up the middle or anything like that. But I think that Alec Boehm's been rough at times at third. Rhys Hoskins, and I don't say this lightly, Rhys Hoskins is a horrendous first baseman defensively. They make simple mistakes and routine plays not routine. And that's why I think I and all the Phillies fans are really just not enjoying this team.
So real quick on the Phillies, one thing that I need you to help me with is the Nola Wheeler debate. Now, I see people get offended when the word overrated is thrown around. And for me, overrated doesn't mean you're bad. It's just as simple as you're not as good as everyone thinks you are. I think Aaron Nola is a really, really good pitcher. I like him. I think he's a really good too. Like, he had a great outing on Sunday. He had an up and down season, but I think at his peak, if you go to Aaron Nola at his best, I think he's really good too. To me, my eyes tell me, I look at Zach Wheeler as the ace of the team. I think he has much more ace stuff than Aaron Nola does. Everyone this has become a hot button topic, I feel, and especially in the city for the past couple months. Where do you fall on that debate?
So I'm glad you used the word ace, because it's something that I've been trying to fight, and I think I'm fighting this battle alone for the most part. There is I think a distinct difference between an ace and a number one. And I think a lot of people by default just assume whomever is the best pitcher on the staff is considered the ace. But I look around the league, I don't think there are 30 aces in baseball, because I don't think that I look at a team like the Seattle Mariners. I don't think that they have an ace. I look at a team like the Detroit Tigers. I think Casey Mize could become that, but I don't think they have an ace either. So I kind of reserve the term ace for the top 10 to 15 pitchers in the league. And I certainly believe the way that he's pitched over the last 2 seasons, Zach Wheeler qualifies to be in that term. It's not a disrespect thing to call him an ace of the staff, and then also say that you could have an ace and the number one guy. And I actually would take it a little bit further than you do. You call him a really good number two. I think Aaron Nola can be a really solid number one when he's at his top. So if you have an ace and a number one, the top of your pitching staff, 40% of the games you're feeling good. But it's weird to see Philly fans kind of try to compare the two and be like, no, I like Zach Wheeler better. No, I like Aaron Nola better. I don't quite understand it, because all I'm looking for at the end of the day is wins, and whomever they come from, I'm all good with.
No, I'm 1,000% with you on everything you said. So we're gonna slightly shift gears here as we talk about the Flyers, because obviously we brought you in here to talk the sports with us, but now I need you to get out your gavel. I need you to get out your black robe, because you're about to be a judge, jury, and executioner on this next topic.
Okay.
So my co-host Justin Emery is a man of many strengths and many talents. Hockey and movies are not two of those things. So we actually have a segment on the show where we call it Hockey or Naw. So basically what I do is I read either a hockey player or an actor, and he has to tell me if it's a hockey player or Naw. Most weeks it gets pretty ugly on the show. But
very ugly. Very ugly.
Yeah. But so here's what's happening. Justin is a guy who, he's not the biggest hockey fan in the world. He's lived here most of his life, and he also has at some points been out in Vegas. So he's fallen in love with he has the goo eyes, the heart-shaped eyes for the Las Vegas Knights. Now,
Okay.
here's the question. I'm gonna step aside and let him lay out his case for you. But basically, I'm gonna set this up by saying he wants to know if it's okay for him to abandon the Flyers completely and be a Knights fan, but still root for the other three teams. Now, I'm gonna lay out here and let him lay out his argument.
Well, I mean, the other teams, they've always been the Philly sports team has always been my favorite, but hockey's been so far down on the list. And it goes back to all the strikes, because when all the strikes were happening in the NHL, that's like right when I was in high school and everything. So right when you're supposed to be gravitating towards the sport, the Flyers weren't even playing. So it's hard for me to get into hockey as a sport at all. But then I started living in Vegas, started working for the Knights, and the Flyers are in such a bad situation and are such a fundamentally flawed team, from the ownership to the front office to the coaching staff. Marcus is trying to tell me that this is a bandwagon jump, but I'm not trying to just get on it for this year. I'm filling out permanent residency with the Golden Knights.
So I guess the one question I will ask you before I kind of give you, and I'm not somebody that's going to be, oh, well, if you root for the Knights, you can't come back. You know what I mean? You can't come back to the Flyers. The one thing so you said you worked for them.
Yes.
I think that in and of itself gives you justification to, yes, go ahead and be a Knights fan and root for the other three Philadelphia teams, as you always have. I will. The one thing that I will say is, if you do become a Knights fan, through good times and bad, you got to be a Knights fan.
See, and I'm cool with that.
I need to say one thing here.
Yes.
Because here's the thing for me that because originally I was with you, Tyler. I originally said, okay, that's fair. But here's the issue: is that the Knights are a really good team, so it makes it easier to take that leap when we're over here with a dumpster fire and you're out there prancing around with the parades in your pool, sipping your favorite cocktail. So if this was a team that wasn't as good, I don't question as much, but I question the intentions about how good the Knights actually are and how easier it is to get over there to that instead of dealing with this.
My rebuttal to that is that when the Flyers are bad, I don't watch the Flyers. When the Flyers are good, I still don't really watch the Flyers.
Yeah, so I can't fault Vegas or Vegas fans for them being good right away. Like, they took advantage of an expansion draft, an expansion draft and an expansion draft lottery that really played into the NHL wanting whatever team this was going to be, and it then turned into be the Vegas Knights, to them being competitive right away. Because, I mean, how many times have we seen an expansion team come into any league in particular and really struggle to get any kind of momentum for 5 years, 8 years, a decade? So I think the NHL wanted them to be competitive. I don't think anybody, the NHL included, expected Vegas to be a cup contender and go to the cup, perhaps go to the cup for the second time in 5 seasons,
right,
since they were created. But I do understand the point of them being good, and it's easy to kind of get on right away and get on that bandwagon. When, I look at the next team coming into the league, the Seattle Kraken will be the 32nd team. I don't expect the expansion draft to be as favorable to them as it was to Vegas. So I get the point of, yes, they've been good for their, entirety of their history, the 5 years they've been in existence, but I can't fault them for taking advantage of a system that allowed them to be good right away because of the expansion draft.
All right, Justin. So go head out to your pool out in Vegas and celebrate the cup. All right.
Let's go. I'm looking forward to having the Stanley Cup at a couple of day clubs out by the pool on a little floaty, maybe a flamingo floaty.
All right. So, Tyler, we appreciate you for jumping on, man. Thank you so much. Congratulations on everything you're doing. Continued success. let us know where we can find you.
Yeah, so you can find me easy enough on Twitter. It's at Tyler Zulli. It's Zulli. I know it's sometimes some think it's a Y or just one L, but yeah, at Tyler Zulli on Twitter. You can find me there, and of course you can catch me most evenings with Devon Givens from 6 to 10 on the Fanatic.
Awesome, man. Well, again, thanks so much for jumping on. We hope to do it again soon, man. Take care.
Yeah, absolutely. Appreciate you guys having me. Enjoy the rest of the day.
Tyler Zulli bangs the gavel in your favor. Justin Emery, not guilty on all charges.
Wish I could have that. Wish I could have that in my favor earlier today.
Not guilty. Y'all got to feel me. All right. So
actually, hold on. I want to actually address that before we go to break. Okay.
Okay.
So, Mark, not guilty in this case. Now,
Yeah.
So I got a ticket.
Yeah.
About a month ago. That I got a $248 ticket for walking my dog in a park that dogs aren't allowed in. Okay. Have you?
I don't understand that dogs aren't allowed in a park. Like, what parks do you ban a dog from? Like that whole I understand the aspect of the waste and stuff like that, but the parks are like a dog's best friend. That's where you want to go. How you
And it's 2 blocks away. I was at Rochester Park.
Yeah, it's strange.
So all morning I have well, not all morning, but a large chunk of my morning was spent in court fighting this $248 dog walking ticket. And it wasn't like I didn't clean up after him after he went to the bathroom. Like, we were just walking through a field and I got the ticket.
So was this a bicycle officer?
No, it was a cop pulled up in a car, pulled the car onto the field and drove the cop car up to me.
That is aggressive for a park violation.
And I thought he was going to just, the thing is, I'm
picturing the bicycle cop with the bicycle helmet.
Like in the car, everything. Now, 2 guys that I went to school with for the vast majority of my life are Abington cops now. So I thought it might have been one of the guys that I actually knew. So I stood there for a second thinking, oh, maybe this is, somebody that I grew up with. Negative. This guy is just out here looking to cause problems.
Yeah. I mean, yes. Listen, I'm with you on this. I think this is a stupid violation.
So I got my next court date is not till September 30th. So I'm dragging this out for as long as I can, and I'm making them use as much taxpayers' dollars for this as I possibly can, because I might not win this, but I can tell you I won't lose this, Marcus.
I want you to give 3 continuances.
Oh, I'm dragging this. You think I can drag this out for a whole year?
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, I'm done. I'm doing it.
Absolutely.
The thing is, they're all the court hearings are on Zoom, so I just wake up and I just come into this setup that I'm in right now. So,
you know what? And that's the disadvantage though of Zoom is that usually you're allowed to have that negotiation period with the officer. Like, you get a ticket, you go in that private room, and it's like, all right, man, here's what we're gonna do. But you don't get to do that. You can't do that on Zoom.
No,
you just go in there and hope for the best.
Listen, all morning long, this was behind me. So we were in there.
Yeah.
We were in there. The guy was like, that's a very nice setup. And I was like, yeah, I kind of use it every day.
All right, so we're going to take a break, and then we're going to go around the rest of the NBA and do some predictions about tonight's game.
And we have a NHL playoff update, of course.
Of course. Brad Emery in the morning, Marcus Brown, Justin Emery. We'll be right back.
Looking for authentic Mexican food close to home? Great news. District Taco has opened its newest location in Abington, Pennsylvania, and they'd love to fiesta with you. Offering Yucatanian fish tacos, burrito mojados smothered in delicious salsa, and crispy sweet churros, District Taco has it all. Try out the newest location or check out their website, districttaco.com, and come back for more. District Taco, Always fresh, always Mexican.
Hi, I'd like to talk to you guys today about my friends at Uncle Mike's Homemade Ice Cream. USA Today selected Uncle Mike's Homemade Ice Cream as the best ice cream parlor in Pennsylvania. Uncle Mike's is a family-owned and dedicated to the production of premium quality and gourmet ice cream and sorbet, made fresh daily on the premises using the highest quality ingredients available. Uncle Mike's features over 30 unique delicious flavors offered in scoops, sundaes, shakes, and special order ice cream cakes and pies. Uncle Mike's Homemade Ice Cream is located at 537 York Road in Warminster and is open all year round. Visit Uncle Mike's and let their friendly staff serve you happiness one scoop at a time. Yeah, man. Welcome back. Bradman in the morning. Marcus Bradham, Justin Emery.
Fastest commercial break of all time.
Yeah, I wasn't prepared. I called my pants down there.
I was trying to get another drink and I didn't get there in time.
Slim Reaper with the 49 last night.
Did not watch a single second of the game, admittedly.
Oh my gosh, you missed a great one. You missed one of the greatest playoff performances in the history of the National Basketball Association. But more importantly than that, I just sit here and feel so vindicated by what the Bucks like. See, everyone hates the Nets, and like I get it, super team. I understand all that, but I hate the Bucks. You know why I hate the Bucks? Because the Bucks are a brain-dead basketball team. They are a body functioning without a brain. There are so many takeaways, and I feel vindicated in so many ways when it comes to that team, but especially my opinion of Giannis Antetokounmpo. Because boy, did he look like the biggest clown of clowns last night.
Did he?
Let's start with the fact that you are Defensive Player of the Year 2 times.
2 times.
You're an all-defensive team basically every year, but yet somehow you allow the Slim Reaper to go out there and cook PJ Tucker and Chris Middleton and everybody else, but you at no point feel like you should maybe step in front of him for a possession or two.
Mm-mm.
At no point. My favorite sequence of the game is he has the ball down the post. He has James Harden who's playing on one leg. By the way, James Harden looks back and says, I don't need any help, fellas. I know Giannis is going to do something stupid. Just wait. And what does he do? He sees a guy on one leg that he outweighs by at least 50 pounds, has at least 3 or 4 inches on him, and he decides to shoot a fadeaway jump shot, and he can't shoot. You can't write this stuff.
The thing is, that play brings me back to what I said about him in regards to the Kyrie injury, where his IQ he has no basketball IQ.
Yes, none at all, and it's just not there.
It's like we said about Porzingis when I said to you, if we were playing 1-on-1 and you were on offense, how would you play? We'd go.
Yeah.
So it's the thing. He just doesn't have the IQ to say, okay, well, let me just give him the body.
It's not just him; it's the entire squad.
It's
Brooke Lopez is
who's the coach of who's their coach?
Mike Budenhauser.
Yeah, he's fired. Okay, like you can.
Yeah. Brooke Lopez is 7'30", 495,000 pounds, and the entire Brooklyn doesn't have a center. They literally told DeAndre Jordan, "We know we don't have a center, but you suck so bad, we don't even want you playing." That's what they've said, and they don't have a center. Jeff Green basically is their center. Jeff Green and Blake Griffin are their centers. Okay, so that's the team you're trying out here. You're trying out these 2 guys, Joe Harris, all of these guys who are not equipped to handle a guy the size of Brooke Lopez. And what does Brooke Lopez do? He stands in the farthest part of the court.
Dude, he just stands in the corner. He just stays in
the corner. He is back by the half court line at the farthest part, waiting to shoot a 3. Like what kind of foolishness is that?
They're so bad.
They're idiots. They're complete. Like listen. You brought it up. The coach needs to be fired because it signifies.
Yeah, he's fired.
Yeah, it signifies bad coaching. That this is what you're doing. But like, I just feel vindicated because I've said this about this team. I've said this about this player. They are brain dead basketball players. And I don't know. Listen, I don't know if you bring a new coach in there and he can smarten them up a little bit. I have no idea. I know Giannis Antetokounmpo. I know this much right now. Giannis Antetokounmpo cannot be the best player on your team if you're going to look to have championship aspirations. Because when the sky was falling, when things were falling apart, when the house is on fire and you need a bucket, he can't get you one because he has no idea.
We're looking for him. We don't see him.
Yeah, he has no idea how to actually score the basketball. Now, it sounds weird. He had 34 points last night. People are like, Marcus, what do you mean by he has no idea how to score a basketball? I'm going to tell you. Watch Giannis Antetokounmpo with the basketball. He has one gear. I'm going to run really, really fast at you with the basketball, but I'm going to hope you either get out of the way or I get a blocking call. That's his entire game. That's it. It's not basketball. It's not basketball. And when it comes to now, Giannis, that they call him the Greek Freak for a reason. He is one of the most athletically superior athletes we've seen in any sport, especially in basketball. The guy is a Greek god. His body is built like a Greek god. He is athletically superior than most. So it just shows you how great an athlete he is, that even despite the fact that he has no idea what he's doing on the basketball court, he still can score 34 in an NBA basketball game. That's a credit to his athleticism. That does not make him a good basketball player. And when it comes to those clutch times, those big time moments, he can't get you a basket because he doesn't. Because at the end of the day, these guys are going to make business decisions on a lot of these plays. But in the playoffs, bro, I'm getting in front of you and taking this charge. We're not doing that. I'm not letting you dunk on me here. That's cute in game 45 of the regular season. We're in the playoffs now, big boy. You're gonna need to put some moves together. He has no offensive moves whatsoever.
If I'm the GM of Milwaukee, and if I still have a job after this season, the first thing I'm doing is firing the coach.
Yes.
Even if you win this series, I'm still firing the coach.
Nets in 6.
It's
over, Justin. It's over. Nets in 6.
That's probably fair, but I wouldn't be. Let me just say this: I wouldn't be surprised if Milwaukee wins at home. They have no chance to win Game 7. There is no chance to win Game 7, but I wouldn't be surprised if Milwaukee wins the game at home. Yeah, I don't know if they will. I'm not saying they will, but it just wouldn't surprise me. So the first, like I said, I'm firing the coach. It doesn't matter the outcome of this. Anything short of a title this season, I'm firing the coach. And I don't know who I'm bringing in. But it doesn't matter. I'm still firing.
It needs to be an old school basketball guy. They have to have an old school basketball. They can't have this new age type of coach. They need an old school tradition. Because, like I said, this team is fundamentally dysfunctional.
Well, I might make a run at Jeff Van Gundy.
Van Gundy, oh my God, he pulled the rest of his hair out dealing with Giannis.
But like I said, my first move is to fire the coach. My second move is I'm getting on the phone with whoever the GM of Portland is, and I'm saying anybody outside of Giannis, let's talk, because Dame and Giannis are the two that need to be paired together.
It's funny you bring that up because I was actually going to say, I believe Giannis made a mistake. I mean, listen, it was a lot of money, but I believe he made a mistake with that max because when he signed that max, Milwaukee.
If you remember when he signed that max, he was injured when he signed it. Yeah. He had just hurt that ankle, so he might be looking at it like, all right, there's a lot of money right now. Like, what if this ankle's not right? Now, I agree. I don't know if I would have done it, especially because, I know I wouldn't have because you know me in cold weather, and I would not have survived in the state of Wisconsin.
Well, here's the problem: is that when he signed that max in Milwaukee, that's not a market where you're going to attract a big name superstar.
People aren't going to come there to play with you.
So, what the perfect place for Giannis was the place that wanted him, which was Golden State. How good would Giannis have looked next to Stephen Clay? That's a dream scenario for Giannis. Giannis needs other guys And like Chris Middleton is the idea is correct in Chris Middleton, where
He's not
a
good
guy
enough.
can get his own shot and a guy that can create. But Chris Middleton in big moments, and maybe it's just me, I still don't trust him in those big moments. I
He's
just don't.
not good enough. He's just
I
not
don't.
good
I
enough.
don't. I agree. I don't think he's on par with those guys. But now you send Giannis out to Golden State, you pair him with Stephen Clay, who can close, and you allow Giannis to do what he wants to do, which is be a rim runner and a dunker. That's what he wants to do. That's what he wants to do. He wants to be a guy who runs end to end, gets easy dunks and layups, and call it a day. That's what Giannis wants to do. And it's a perfect place for him to do it out there. Now, I like the idea of Dame pairing him with a guy like that, and you go Dame, Middleton, Giannis. Now we're talking.
Or you, if you're Mark Cuban, do you get on the phone with Milwaukee and bring Giannis to Dallas?
I don't.
I mean, I think Dame is the ideal matchup pairing.
I think Dame's the number one. I don't know how Giannis would pair with Luka because Giannis can't shoot. That's why Dame offsets that. And then also you have Middleton too. I don't know about Giannis and Luka. But by the way, speaking of Luka, have you heard the reports?
I have.
Things aren't rosy out in Maverick Land.
He's going to sign that deal. Stop it.
Listen, one can dream, right?
One can dream, but one can also wake up.
Allow me the ability to lust for a second. Allow me the ability to lust. I know it's a fantasy. I know it's fresh off the Pornhub circuit, but allow me the opportunity to lust for a minute. I got to have that minute. But
there's no reason for him not to take it, though.
Right. And as much as he loves Dirk Nowitzki, that's his idol, Dirk's gonna make some calls over there to Luka and say, "Listen, Luka,
do you want this 200? Do you want this 205 million? Is extra crispy right now?
Yeah. He loves that
in a state that has no taxes.
Right. Luka looks like, and Luka just, you know how certain guys just look like that team. Luka looks like a Maverick.
He looks like Dirk. The thing is, he looks like Dirk.
Yeah. I mean, really, you're right. But anyway, I just feel vindicated about this Milwaukee Bucks team. I can't stand them. I wish them nothing but the worst. And like, if I don't understand, and I don't understand how you can be outside of Milwaukee and have any love for Giannis Antetokounmpo's game. I don't get it. Don't get it.
No, it's not for me.
Moving on to the Western Conference, because what did Chris Paul do? What did he do? What did he do to deserve this amount of unluckiness? And I don't think that's a word, but this to be this in a place once again where his season's in jeopardy, where they have a real shot to go out there and win a world championship. Chris Paul, if you haven't heard, this morning was placed in the COVID protocol, and he is out indefinitely. There's been no other information really given out on that.
I'm pulling the story up right now to see if I can.
Yeah, I don't know. There's really nothing, no more major information about it. It's kind of crazy. It's weird for me because, like, I don't know. Like, obviously, I know COVID's still a thing. Let's relax on that. COVID's definitely still a thing, but the randomness of this is just weird. Like this literally, like, what has happened since they won Game 4 against Denver? Like, where was he? And then you also look at the situation with LeBron James last month, how he was out at a club with, Drake and a bunch of rappers partying together, and there was no repercussions for that at all. So I don't know what happened here while he's getting this, and LeBron, they were like, yeah, you're good. So
unless LeBron's vaccinated and Chris Paul's not.
Yeah.
Because they won't come out and tell you that. Like, if they are, they won't come out and say that. But
correct me if I'm wrong. When it happened with LeBron, wasn't that still before we are now, where it was a mask off and things are moving in like the?
It was right around that time, so I don't know. It was very close.
I know it was close. Yeah.
I don't know that for a fact though. But like I said, I don't like if Chris Paul is vaccinated.
Yeah.
He will only have to probably sit out a day or two. But if he's not, he's going to have to do the full 10 days. Now, I don't know if he is vaccinated.
Why did they give him the indefinite?
Because I don't think that because I believe you have to take a second test.
Okay.
And that your second test is kind of the barometer.
Okay.
So as it sits right now, from my understanding of the story, is that first test was positive. He's in the process of taking his second one. That's why it's indefinite.
Okay.
Now, what if his second test comes back negative? Then there is no protocol.
Right.
He just had a false positive with his first test. Or if after it comes back positive the second time, they look at his vaccination status.
Yeah.
Now, like I said, I don't know if he is or not. I say all the time I am because I don't really care if anybody says anything about it. Like I am, and I encourage everyone else to, but I don't know if he is or not. I don't know if LeBron is or not.
Listen, I'm vaccinated, but I believe you got to go out there and do what's best for you and best for your life.
Yeah. So, I don't know. But I mean, the other series is still tied 2-2. So, like, how big of a deal?
Well, that series too, you got to talk about also because now the news about Kawhi Leonard being out Game 5 with a knee, and maybe and they don't know about the rest of the series what it looks like. He hurt his knee in Game 4, and he's out for Game 5.
I mean, like
in the West.
The thing is, I don't have as much of a emphasis and as much of a caring about what's going on in the West, only because the Sixers play in the East.
Yeah.
And I don't think that any team out West can beat any team in the East. Whether Brooklyn or Philly wins the East, I think they win the championship. It doesn't matter which one of them wins.
If I'm looking at the Sixers, if they get out the East, their toughest matchup would be the Jazz. I think the Jazz. If I was to rank the team's tough matchup, I would go Jazz, Clippers, Suns.
You know why I'm not worried about the Jazz? Is because we'll have aggressive Ben who will be mad during that series. He will be mad he didn't win Defensive Player of the Year. He will be mad about the whole Rookie of the Year thing with Donovan Mitchell.
Yeah.
He will be mad that he scored 42 on Gobert and it didn't matter. So if that matchup is actually my preferred matchup because Ben Simmons will take it personally. He'll get the Jordan iPad out, and I took that personally.
Yeah, that would definitely be a fun series because then
Embiid eats Gobert's lunch every time they play.
Oh yeah, having that, there'll be a lot of awesome storylines in that series. So yeah, that's the one I'm rooting for. Also, I do believe it'll be their toughest matchup. I still think they win the series, but I think it'll be a good series. But
how about the joke? How about the MVP being bounced in a sweep?
Yeah, that didn't look good for the resume. I mean,
and his mafia looking family. Did you see that?
Oh, that was frightening. I'm not touching that.
Okay.
No, at all. I'm not touching that.
All right, let's hit a break.
I saw Brother Jokic. I'm not touching that at all.
Yeah, let's hit a break real quick.
Yeah, let's just get out of this.
All right, let's just get out of here. Where's he from? Serbia? We don't want any problem with the
Serbia. Problems at all. No issues. Brian in the morning. Marcus Brown, Justin Emery, right back.
Justin Emery here to tell you about Beef Jerky Outlet in Langhorne. Sharon and Michael are the owners, and they have the best beef jerky around. You can never go wrong with the maple bacon, but my personal favorite is the honey barbecue turkey jerky. Turkey jerky? Yeah, I said it, turkey jerky. It's getting warmer out, which means grilling season. And what better way to top your meat than with Beef Jerky Outlet's very own sauces? Spicy chipotle, sriracha horseradish, and roasted pineapple habanero are just a few of your options to choose from. Located at 110 Lincoln Highway at the corner of Oxford Valley Road, or shipping nationwide on their website, beefjerkyoutlet.com/Langhorne. Use promo code BREMY for 10% off and say, yo, Justin sent you.
Hi, I'd like to talk to you guys about my friends at Amy's Pizza. Amy has a plethora of pizzas for your munching pleasure, especially pizzas such as Hawaiian, margarita, and taco. Taco actually being my personal favorite. And also plenty more. If it's sandwiches you desire, they've got those too. Cheesesteaks, burgers, hoagies, even gyros. Amy's offers pickup and takeout options. Also, they're available on Grubhub. Amy's is located at 332 York Road in the heart of Hatboro. You can call them today at 215-957-1000. Again, that's 215-957-1000.
Every Friday, we're bringing you bits, but it's especially hilarious to me knowing what I've seen happen in McDonald's locations over the years. Hell, what I've done in McDonald's locations over the years.
Hits. Always winterize your pipes. I think that is such a funny...
And everything in between.
See,
it's the opposite. You don't see it, and he was totally about eating that baby. We are Twitty and the Brand. We're going to ruin something that you love. New episodes weekly on all your favorite podcast streamers.
Yeah, man. Welcome back. Brad in the morning. Marcus Brad. I'm Justin Emery. So let's focus tonight. Wells Fargo Center, Game 5, Sixers-Hawks. I'll go first, and I'll just say I think they win the game. Okay? I think they win the game. However, I have no idea what to expect and what I'll be watching tonight. What I mean by that is I don't have a feel for how they're going to win this game. And if I would be honest, my biggest reason is that they're back home. You know, they understand. I'm sure Doc was furious in that post-game press conference. He basically was spitting fire out of his mouth. Yeah, and he had every right to be mad because he knows these opportunities to step on a team's throat are huge. And you go up 3-1, and now you're 2-2, and giving a team confidence that didn't have any confidence. So my biggest reasoning really is, you know, they're coming home to Wells Fargo Center. I know Doc was not pleased. They watched the film. You're hoping Embiid is back to Embiid. He's not going to go 0 for 12.5 again. So he's heard the talk about him for the past 48 hours. And the Sixers, I will say this about them. They usually respond really well after a loss, especially a loss that shouldn't have happened. They're usually really good about the response, especially coming home. I don't see a scenario where they lose this game, but I can't tell you how they're going to win the game. I don't know. I just know that they're going to win the game.
I agree with everything you said. At home, you know, they just don't lose at home for the most part. Since for the last 3 or 4 years, they've just been an elite home team, absolutely elite home team. This is a game that Doc Rivers has to win for them. And what I mean by that is that he needs to take into his hands the flow of the game, the switches that he makes, the substitutions, the lineups that he makes. He needs to dictate the flow of this game from the sidelines. Not Trae Young, not the referee. I know we both hate blaming the referees, but this has not been a well-officiated series. Really, any of the games. Agreed. Now, you're the better team. I don't want to, that's not why you lost. You didn't lose game 1 because of the referees. You didn't lose game 4 because of the referees. But they didn't make it easier on you. Yeah. Doc Rivers needs to run this game.
Yeah, I'm with you 1,000%. And listen,
and that goes upon what you say is we don't know the outcome of that because we don't know what he's thinking. But, as we've said before, he's forgotten more basketball since he woke up than I even know. Right. So it's on him. This is why you're paid to be the coach. This is why we got you and not Brett Brown.
And the thing is, too, that Doc's heard the whispers last 40 hours. He's blown a lot of leads in series. The reason why he's here in the first place is because they blew a 3-1 lead last year in the bubble. And he's blown leads previous to that also. So this is a huge game for him also because the memo's out there that Doc blows leads. And that's why I think for him, you saw the pain in his eyes on Monday because he knows the opportunity the Sixers had to just put an end to this and wrap it up tonight. This should be wrap-up time because then, they're good, like you said. I believe the Nets are going to win in 6, but would I be surprised if it goes 7? No. If it goes 7, it goes to Sunday. I'm sorry, Saturday night is game 7 for them. So that means you're not starting the Eastern Conference Finals probably till Tuesday-ish, probably. So that means if they have wrapped up tonight, you're giving basically 6 days to get ready for the next series. A little respite. But
whoa,
oh,
sir. On Monday, you said you didn't want the rest days.
I don't want the rest days for Embiid. I'm thinking about the rest of the team here. I don't want
Okay, that's fair. The question I posed on Monday was for Embiid, so that's
for Embiid. I do, but for the rest of the team, I do.
okay.
I'm thinking of like Danny Green, who you could possibly get back sooner than later. The days don't change, I guess. I guess that doesn't matter.
Who cares?
No, you're a little harder on Danny Green than I am. I care. But anyway, this should have been over. This should have been no angst tonight. Go in. It's a celebration, and it's not going to be that. So I think this is a game where the Sixers are going to definitely be feeling the pressure to win this game.
They better win this because
the Hawks don't have. The Hawks are. That's the thing.
The Hawks are playing with house money now. They're literally playing with house money. If the Sixers now, I almost don't want to say this because I don't want to throw it into the universe. If the Sixers lose tonight, the pitchforks and the torches will be out for them, and justifiably so. And if they lose tonight because Ben Simmons was not active on offense, Doc, that press conference
gonna be different.
I don't want to hear, oh, well, you guys don't. No. You're not saying that.
And what did I tell you at the beginning of the playoffs? I am reserving my Ben slander, and I am going to sit back, wait and see. But hell have no fury, like Marcus Bradham, if they lose the series. Like that's how I feel, and I don't want to, like you said, I don't want to put it in the atmosphere because I feel good about tonight. I think they're going to win the game. Again, I can't tell you how it's going to happen.
Favorites. They're big favorites to win.
And they should.
They're 3-1 basically. So, and you're right. They should be.
So I believe this series is over Friday, and go out there and get it done, guys. That's all really I can say. Go out there and get it done. I need Embiid to be Embiiding. I need Simmons to be simmering. I need Curry to stay hot. I need Shake to stay where he's at. I need Korkmaz to keep doing what he's doing. I need all these things to remain the same.
I agree with every single word that you just said.
All right, so listen.
No. Not yet. We're not getting out of here yet.
Okay.
We have to do the NHL playoff update.
Okay, playoff update.
Right. Game 1, Canadiens, Golden Knights, was also on Monday night. Dominating 4-1 win. Had a 2-goal lead for the vast majority of the game and before pushing it to 3 goals. Vegas just they opened up as minus 600 to win the series, and they opened up as minus 280 to win the game, and you saw why they're so favored.
Yes.
The thing about Vegas is that they are so deep. They're so deep. Their fourth line guys would be 2 and 3 lines on other teams.
Yeah.
Like their healthy scratches would be second and third liners for other teams. They are so deep. Fleury on fire in the game. And yeah, that's about it.
Right.
Almost a hat trick. The guy had 2 goals. I forget what his name is. And that's that. The Canadians look like a team that hasn't played in like. Well, the thing is, what they did is both of their opponents went 6 or 7 games in both series, and they swept both of theirs. They looked like a team that hasn't played hockey in that long.
Right.
So yeah, games 2 is tonight. Hopefully get another dub. 2-0. Go back to Canada, and let's do some day club partying with the Stanley Cup in a couple weeks.
I love it. Your team, your town, your Knights.
Yes. When we go out there for the game in October, hopefully the Stanley Cup will be floating around somewhere. We can find it.
There we go.
Now, don't forget, everybody, 1 week from today. This time, in 168 hours, we will be live at the Beef Jerky Outlet. Think about that. 168 hours from right now.
I hope we get a beautiful day like we got today.
Yo, we were doing the perfect weather talk. Look at the weather for tomorrow. Look at the weather for tomorrow.
What's happening?
Perfect weather.
Is it?
Could be.
Yeah.
I think tomorrow, yes.
Sunny?
Yes, sir.
Marcus Brown's weather?
I'm all about it.
I like it. I like it. All right, so listen, we're going to go ahead and get out of here. Follow me at Marcus B. Tweeting everywhere. Justin
Emery Show, Bluebird app.
Brad and Memory Pod everywhere. For that amazing merch, BradandMemoryShow.com. 10% off code BREMI, Beef Jerky at Langhorne. Like Justin just mentioned, we'll be there a week from today, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Looking forward to that.
And this Friday, the return of J. Cole.
J. Cole returns, my best friend.
And J. Cole will also be in person at the Beef Jerky Outlet.
Love it. Love it. Until next time, you can be with us, be against us, but you're never going to stop us. Late.
Tyler voted for me.